Hi guys, this is Julien. This is the first wrap up of the Traveling Circus of Urbanism series in Africa. So, as you might know, I published a call for participants in August, calling for people, urbanists or startup oriented people to join me on a trip in Africa in order to visit 5 African cities and observe at the same time the urbanization phenomena and the digital transformation. We are doing that with collaborating with some locals in the same fields of activity. And actually, the trip started in September in Cape Town, South Africa. Was the first one available. Obviously, I was also, since I was the one who published this call, maybe, I don't know, the other people didn't have time to join, but well, we had a lot of feedbacks, like 24 or 25 people willing to join. This is way too much. But the people needed some time to wrap up, and so yeah, they are starting to come on the next destination, which will be Lomé in Togo. We will be two, then we will be a bit more than five in Yaoundé, and supposed to be like even 12 in Nairobi in April. Well, we'll see all that. Now I want to talk to you about my Cape Town experience and what I did on this stay of 2 months in the wonderful city of Cape Town, South Africa. I started with the podcast. This is one of the things that I want to deliver out from my traveling in Africa. So I wish I could interview urban developers, urban scientists, practitioners, people working on the city, like architects or even startups working in urban innovation. And so I sent a dozen of invites. I got a few replies. Actually, I finally interviewed two urbanists, Rachik Fattar and Claire Dutréveux. So here it is. Rashik is more an innovation guy oriented to startup, urban innovation startup. He created this Our Future Cities. He's a speaker, experienced speaker and manager of the urban innovation of Cape Town, and we had a very interesting talk about the actual level of development of Cape Town and how it has changed for the last 15 years, including the increase of buying power for the whole population. So of course it remains some poverty, but they also attract migrants from other neighboring countries. So this fakes a bit the numbers of the wealthiness in Cape Town itself. Very interesting talk. And then I also interviewed Claire Dutréveux, which is working in a different field. She's an architect, a freelancer in urban research, and she's working on informal settlements actually and trying to make it better. So these people that are on the margin of the economy, they live in suburbs in the periphery of the center town, and they live in very poor condition, to be honest, teeny houses built of recycled trash most of the time. So Claire is trying to find ways to make those places a bit more comfortable, because actually the phenomena is that every time 100 of families are hosted by the municipality in new buildings, like these houses, these informal settlements are usually occupied by new people coming. So there is a regular flow of people coming to Cape Town because it's one of the most powerful economies of the African continent. And most of them can spend years, even like a decade, living in poor condition. So Yeah, that was two very interesting talks. I wish to have more on the next steps of my trip, and I will be able to deliver sort of season of interviews about African cities when I will have something like ten participants. So then, since I didn't have a big network actually in South Africa for collaboration, I did a lot of work by myself. I mean, I did social network analysis. So I took the time to collect data from scraping social networks, did some exploratory statistics and feature extraction with machine learning. So I'm doing all my analysis in Python. It's all available on my GitHub, which is called Democracy Studio. And yeah, as for scrapping, I've been using Beautiful Soup, Selenium, and Phantom Busters. Starting with Medium platform, I did a request to get the articles mentioning Africa as an hashtag. I found 919 articles in total. I collected that, the whole of them using a web scraper. I guess it was Phantom Buster first and then Selenium for the text content. So I collected the article URL that you can see on the left column, publication dates, interesting, the title, the author name, clap counts, and the actual text content. And then I used some machine learning for feature extraction. So I've been using BERT for topic detection, for text summarization and sentiment analysis. And I also did a trick with the bag of words technique to extract entities, actually the country names. So I can classify the articles by the country it is speaking about, and also by topic, and yeah, by expression of sentiment. All in one, the data analysis of Medium article reveals that politics is the most common topic. It goes up to 359 articles, followed by science, including space and medicine tools, and beliefs, atheism and religion. Nigeria is the most mentioned country with 202 times mentioned. Then comes Kenya 179 and Ghana 110. I have a bias in this calculation since South Africa is actually hard to detect as an entity, since it is two, let's say, common words that are aggregated for a country name. So it might be that South Africa is somewhere in between the three first mentioned countries, but sadly I haven't been able to catch it yet. The most active author published 78 articles, but a majority of them, 70% of authors who published an article on Africa is publishing one shot, so one article only. The majority of articles are published on Tuesday and Wednesday, so followed by Monday closely, so it means like the three first days of the week, working days. And then the articles collecting the most claps are published on Thursday, so it's interesting for all content publishers. Probably you should wait to publish your articles maybe a bit before the weekend, so people are less focused on their own work and they start hanging out on social networks and giving claps and reds this and there. Otherwise, I can tell you in terms of sentiment analysis that a majority of articles remain very neutral. 69% of them express a big rate of neutrality, but they are more negative, all proportions kept, like 3.93% of negative sentiment expressed compared to the positive ones, which are only 1.39%. So then I went to Google Maps to collect some more information about supermarkets. I could have done that about coffees, about shops, about whatever. I chose to collect information about supermarkets data, and so I used Google Maps for it. First, I did a scraping with Phantom Buster to collect supermarkets data, meaning the name, the global rating, the location with latitude and longitude. It was not always positioned like that, so I had to use different tricks to extract the latitude and longitude, maybe from street name, sometimes from position on the map, sometimes from the URL. Well, I did some tricks and managed to have most of them. The opening days and the delivery option. And then I used Selenium to collect more information about each supermarket in the 5 cities, which I'm using as case studies. They are, I probably didn't mention that, so they are Cape Town, Lomé, Yaoundé, Nairobi, and Addis Ababa. And so, yeah, I collected the reviews in each of these supermarkets of each of these cities with the name of the reviewer, the rating, and the content. So, sadly, Selenium and Google, well, you cannot get more than the last 3 reviews, which is not bad to give you a feedback. It could be better to have more of them, but actually, yeah, you have a few supermarkets with a lot of reviews, just like this one, more than 1,500, but most of them also don't have at all any reviews. So, well, collecting the 3 last ones is something that's giving some information, actually. And that's the data analysis of Google Map reviews. So after cleaning, Nairobi has the most supermarket repertoried, 185. Then comes Cape Town with 148, and finally Yaoundé with 141. So the 2 other cities, Lomé and Addis Ababa, had less supermarket repertoried. But in terms of reviews, the order is different. Lomé has more reviews than Cape Town, and they both respectively arrive second and third after Nairobi, which is the one with the most reviews registered on the platform. The ratings are positive in most cases and lowers proportionally. It means like it starts with 5 stars. 853 supermarkets have 5 stars in my database, and it goes down to 2 stars. It goes down to 104 reviews giving only 2 stars. So that's it. Actually, people are more tending to give positive feedbacks to the supermarkets they visit. Overall, the ratings are better in Cape Town, which is having the best mean, more than 4 stars, followed by Nairobi, 3.93, and Addis Ababa, 3.92. The closing day is by far Sunday, which concerns 22% of supermarkets in Nairobi, 17% in Lomé, and 15% in Yaoundé. So actually, even if Sunday is by far the most common day for holiday, you will find a lot of supermarket options opened on Sunday in the different African cities. Finally, Nairobi has the one with the most delivery options, 123, while it's way less developed in the other cities. Cape Town has only 30 supermarkets who propose delivery options, and Yaoundé 29. And finally, we go to Facebook Marketplace. So here, my idea was to know better who is selling what, at which price, and where, meaning not only in which city, but also where in the city. I did a scrapping, quite tricky because you have sometimes like hundreds of articles repertoried, and so I used Selenium to collect everything, like from the image URL to the publication URL, the title, the price, the location, and the full description of the article that's been sold. It took quite a lot of time to fix it. I did it in many rounds actually because I was often kicked out by a Facebook platform when you are visiting too many pages. They end up detecting you. So it has been a challenge, but I'm happy I did that. And the thing now is, about the data analysis of Facebook, I needed a bit more time to make more significant analysis. I could have done some means about the price of the articles, maybe, and the quantities of articles being sold on each city. But I first wanted to make something more complex, feature extraction with machine learning based on images, actually. I would like to use computer vision with TensorFlow in order to make a product classifier from images. So I can tell for each article that is being sold, this is, for example, some food, this is services like a plumber or something like that. This is an article, a product like a new phone, or these are clothes and blah blah blah. So I would like to build first a classifier to be able to know how much products are being sold on Facebook Marketplace, depending which product category. I think this will make more sense, and also calculating the means by category will make more sense. So I would also like to map the locations in the city, but they don't deliver a precise address. So you have to make some named entity recognition or some entity extraction from the description. So it's using natural language processing in order for your machine learning to detect addresses in a random text. So this needs to be trained, and this will ask me for a bit more time. So, to be followed. Actually, I will be very busy on the next steps. The two next ones, actually, Lomé and Yaoundé, will be both startup oriented, where I will be collaborating with more people, joining me on the trip, and also with local startups and urban developers, architects developing internet features and digital transformations of their cities. So I think that I will get back to the code in the beginning of April, and you will have the next steps of our traveling. Step by step. It will be published as a video on YouTube. Thank you very much, guys. I hope it was interesting, and see you the next time.